let's spend the last 15 minutes going into coach state. So again, as I always say, when we do this, don't do it while driving a car, operating dangerous machinery, flying space rockets, you know, that kind of thing. Instead, switch off the video and listen to it when you've landed back on the moon or Saturn or wherever you are, or stop driving the car, and so you can focus on this, because it will probably be quite relaxing and nice. Let's move to my waterfall world for a bit. So we're in the waterfall, guys, and what I'd like you to do is just take a few moments to focus on the first word, centered. So take yourself back to a time that for you was a time when you really noticed that you were centered, and by that we mean you feel at peace, you feel in balance, you feel at home with yourself, you can recognize the rest of the world and feel your place in it. One way to do this, if you want some guidance on it, is to notice your breath, and as you breathe in, just to notice those molecules of oxygen, nitrogen, and all the other gases in the atmosphere coming in. And as you breathe out, you're breathing them back out into the world. And as you continue to breathe, you can just watch that breath just spread and join the other molecules around the world. And they're held into the atmosphere by gravity. And if they get far enough, some of them may just float off into space around the Earth. You can allow your thoughts to travel past the moon, maybe past the sun, maybe out of this solar system, somewhere far, far, far away. Or you may wish to just bring your attention back, down, through the atmosphere, back to here, down through your body, noticing your neck, shoulders and breath, tummy, legs, feet, and where you connect to the ground. And then what I'd like you to do is to think about a time when you were really open. And by open I mean the opposite of being closed-minded, where you're available for new information, new ideas, able to let go of your version of the way the world was. So maybe listening to something new, or being ready to start a course, or read an interesting book and wanting to know what happened, and to be led by what was there. So to come from a place of readiness to listen, to hear, genuinely to hear. To let go of the shape of what you expect things to be really open. And then to take some moments to develop an awareness of yourself, what you're feeling. Maybe an awareness of what your intention is. How do I want to feel? Those two things may not necessarily be the same in this moment, and that's okay. And an awareness of other people in your life or situations. And just notice them, but in a different way. So not engaged and enmeshed with them, to create a little bit of what we call disassociation, a bit of distance. So you're observing. Okay, that's interesting. That's that. So to have an open awareness. And then connection, or connected. So to take yourself to a time when you really had that powerful sense of connection. Now that could be connection with another person, just that real sense of You know, sometimes you meet someone, you go, oh, it's almost like must have been a sister in a past life, or or we must have been around here some other time. And it doesn't really matter whether you have beliefs in past lives or not, but you just have a sense of we are old friends even though we've just met. Or it could be a sense of connection with nature. It could be those times when you went, oh my God, this is me in this forest, in this place, and I really feel this sense of we are all living creatures on the same planet. There's an interesting exercise you can do, which is just allow yourself to just think about wherever you're touching the surface, so like your feet or your bottom on your chair, and to think that that chair or your feet on the floor connected to the walls of the building you're in, and they go down to the foundations, and the foundations of the building are obviously in the ground, and that ground is continuous with every other building in this country. When you get to the end of the country, so in England for instance, or Britain, it goes down into the sea, but of course the seabed continues all the way to Europe and the other direction to Ireland, Greenland, Iceland and America. And America of course is connected with South America, Central America, Canada and Alaska. It's connected through the Bering Straits to Russia and so on. And in fact every part of the world is just part of the crust, the mantle of the earth. And that we all are connected. Very few times in your life. It's only when you're in a hot air balloon, in an aeroplane, or maybe on that space rocket that you occasionally jump into, that we're not directly connected to the earth. And finally, holding. And this is something that some of you may be more familiar with than others. And with all of these, I would say, the one you feel least familiar with is the one you want to work on the most. It just means you need training, a little bit of training. So think about a time when you were able to be around someone who was going through something difficult, but you were able to be present, be listening, be understanding, even though they were having a difficult time. And you were able to still be functioning as someone useful, someone present. So it didn't trigger your, oh God, this happened to me a long time ago, or you're upset, what do I do with this? You're just in a place of calmness. There's an interesting thing that people often mention, people who are very experienced at anxiety. They will often say, oh, I'm anxious about loads of things, but there was one time when there was a car crash just outside my house, and I was like cool as a cucumber, ringing the police, calling the ambulance, holding people's hands, making cups of tea. I was just like very who I needed to be in that place. So wherever in your life you think about a time when you were connected with that sense of who do I need to be here? What's the most useful way I could be for this other person? To be present, to be listening, to hold it. And to be okay with those sometimes difficult emotions. Now, I wouldn't recommend that people sit in those difficult emotions for too long. If they're of value to pinpoint some issue, they're a messenger, and then we could look at how can we change that. But there may be times when you need to spend some moments acknowledging what's going on for them in order to go, and now we understand this, let's move through this. So as you connect with that, what I'd like you to do is just take a few moments to notice which ones you felt the easiest ones, which ones you need to do a little bit more practice, homework with. And then to take yourself into the future. The brain is a very interesting thing, because as you take yourself into the future, 5, maybe 10 years from now, 2025, 2030, and I don't know where it is that you go for you, but a time when by that much time of passing, that much practice, focus, growth, it's become easy for you to not only inhabit the qualities of coach state, but it's become second nature. It's something that you have already unconsciously learnt, that today it just seems natural for you, even though there was of course a time when it was something that you were just learning. But now, through practice, through rehearsal, it's already become part of who you are as much as any other thing. As much as your height, the colour of your eyes, it's just become part of you. Not only are you great at being in this state, but also you find it so easy that the soonest hint that you're heading towards anything even slightly resembling the qualities of crash state, you're now so aware and aligned with who you want to be that you just automatically shift into coach state. Just automatically shift into coach state. Just through practice, just through rehearsal, just through the years passing. Feel what that feels like. So some of the things that people have mentioned on the call, in-laws, other people, feel what it feels like after 5 or 10 years of becoming really, really good at this. So when these people do their thing, which they will, your response is just to be really in this centered, open, aware, connected, holding place. So they can do what they're doing around you, and you're still the same you. Feel what that feels like to be so good at it. Somebody comes up to you and they say, I've been noticing you. I've seen you around that person. That person was the kind of person that I would normally kind of collapse into a heap around, and I see you being extraordinary because you're just able to be you in spite of their messiness. How do you do that? And you say, well, it didn't used to be that way, but a bit of practice, a bit of neuroplasticity, and now, yeah, it's just one of those things that I've decided I don't want to accept that invitation anymore because I've got more important things to do with my neurology and my health. They're not going to steal that from me. That's mine. That's my treasure. Nobody deserves it other than me. So I choose to keep that. And I don't judge them. I'm compassionate. I let them be the way they are. I'll help them if needed, but that's their stuff. I've got more important things to focus on than getting bent out of shape. To feel what it feels like to have that conversation, to have turned that corner so long ago that it doesn't even feel like an invitation anymore. I don't know if you get this. I get it a bit on my emails. I get people sending me an email going, hey, you've got to join our 7-week program, how to build your coaching business into a multi-million-dollar something. And I just like, whatever. That's what the delete button's for, after all. Feel what it feels like to be able to have that same response to people's unsolicited, unwanted invitations as you do with some of that junk email that you get. You just look at it and go, not for me. Got better things to do. Can't even bother to read it. I know what it's going to say. Feel how it feels after 5 years, 10 years, being in that zone. And when you connect with that, just remind yourself to revisit either this video or these thoughts again and again, so you know, much like those water droplets I talk about often, you're part of this flow. And when you're ready, allow yourself to comfortably, easily and wisely bring yourself back to now with that renewed sense of, yeah, okay, I know who I am. I know who I want to be in these situations. And that's my promise to myself. And as you do, send a message to somebody on the group just to say thanks for being here. It's good to connect. It's good to connect even if it's someone you don't know. Just pick a random name and go, hi, thanks for being here. The more people that you connect with and remind you of this, who are interested in the same conversations, the more your world improves. But of course, the more connections we make with people who are on the same kind of conversation, the more we have a bigger influence. The more of us working together to kind of go, yeah, we need to change this stuff, but in a good way, in a way that's easy and comfortable. So leave a message for one of your new friends on the call and have a fabulous week. I will see you guys next Tuesday. I'm going to leave you with some, what should we leave you with today? Some nice, maybe the night time. We are. A little bit of night time and maybe also some music. Where's the music?